Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Do you ever feel kind of stuck? Like you're just waiting for that perfect moment to start living the life you actually want? Well, today, we're diving into some really powerful ideas on how to smash through procrastination, rewrite your own story, and take control, starting right now. So let's get into it.
Wow, that one hits hard, doesn't it? The root of so much of our inaction comes from this one simple illusion, that someday is a real day you can circle on the calendar. We put off changing, we put off acting, we put off really living, all because we're under this spell that we have all the time in the world. But that, right there, is the first trap we've got to escape.
So, this brings us to our first major hurdle, what we'll call the time delusion. You see, we think of time as this fixed, constant thing, but our experience of it, it's all over the place. And understanding this is the very first key to unlocking your potential and stopping time from just slipping through your fingers. I mean, think about this for a second, because we all know this feeling. 2 minutes with someone you love, it feels like 2 seconds. It's just gone in a flash. But the last 2 minutes of a workout on a treadmill, man, that can feel like an eternity, right? The point is, when you bury your dreams and just endure a life you don't really want, life feels long and painful. The real goal is to fill it with so much action and purpose that it feels rich and full, not just long.
Okay, so beyond the time trap, there's another massive barrier that holds us back, and it's the story we tell ourselves. This internal script we have running in our heads, it can either be the engine that drives you to succeed or the excuse you lean on for why you just can't.
You know, so many of us get caught in that first column, in the victim story. We get stuck focusing on how tough we've had it, on who did what to us, on all the things that went wrong, and the more we tell that story, the more real it feels. But the author's story, that's different. It acknowledges the past, sure, but it isn't defined by it. The most important part is realizing you still hold the pen. You have thousands of blank pages ahead of you, and only you, get to decide what happens in the next chapter.
This is such a powerful way to reframe things. All those past experiences, the struggles, the failures, even the pain, they aren't some fortress you're supposed to hide inside for the rest of your life. No way. They are the foundation you now stand on. They're the fuel, they're the why that has to push you forward. It's the source of your strength. So we've kind of laid out the traps. Now the big question is, how do we get out? Well, it all kicks off with this really profound mental shift. Moving away from fighting everything and moving towards acceptance. Let's see what that actually looks like. Okay, this is a huge idea. We tend to think that our problems, our circumstances, are what make us unhappy. But the argument here is that real suffering, the deep stuff, it comes from our constant battle with reality. It's from wanting things to be different than they actually are. The pain might be real, but the suffering, that's optional.
And let's be super clear about this. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It is not weakness. It's actually a power move. It's a strategic decision to stop wasting all your energy fighting things you just can't change. The moment you stop that internal war is the moment you reclaim your peace and can finally focus on what you can control.
And this idea of acceptance, it's really the launch pad for a growth mindset. That's the belief that you are not some fixed, finished product. Your abilities, your intelligence, they can be developed. And this totally changes your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as some final judgment on who you are, you start to see it for what it is, feedback. It's just the universe giving you a little nudge saying, hey, wrong direction, let's try another path.
Okay, so we've talked about the mindset. Now it's time for the tool. This is a super practical, science-backed technique you can use to break that habit of hesitation and just launch yourself into action. Let's dig in. So our brains basically have two modes. You've got autopilot, which is run by a part of your brain called the basal ganglia. This is where all your habits live, and not just physical habits, but mental ones too, like worrying, doubting yourself, procrastinating. And get this, researchers say we spend half our day in this mode. Then there's drive mode. This is when your prefrontal cortex lights up. This is you at your best, learning, thinking strategically, and consciously choosing what to do next.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you feel that hesitation, that fear, that pull to just put it off, how do you actually shift gears from that default, checked-out autopilot state into the intentional, action-oriented drive state?
And here's the secret. It's called the 5-second rule. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you have a tiny 5-second window before your brain slams on the brakes and kills the idea. But if you start counting backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you interrupt that old habit of hesitating. The counting focuses your mind, and then when you hit 1, you physically move. Even a small movement works. That simple physical action is what wakes up your prefrontal cortex and literally shifts you into drive.
Now, why is a simple rule like this so important? Well, because of this one kind of shocking statistic. 95% of our decisions are not based on logic or our goals. Nope, they're based on how we feel in the moment. And let's be real, you're almost never going to feel like doing the hard things. We don't feel like getting up early. We don't feel like having that tough conversation.
And this right here is what's called the knowledge-action gap. We all basically know what we should do to make our lives better. The problem isn't a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of execution. The 5-second rule, that is the bridge. It's the tool that helps you push past your temporary feelings of fear or doubt and act on your goals instead.
You see, winning these small 5-second battles over and over, every single day, that's how you win the war for your life. It's how you build momentum and, piece by piece, become the architect of a life you're actually excited to live. This is what that journey looks like. You're going to fail. You're going to fall down. It's inevitable. The key is what you do next. You don't stay down, you accept the lesson, you learn from it, and you rebuild. Rebuilding isn't a sign that you failed, it's proof that you survived. And every single time you rise up from the ashes, you become stronger, tougher, more indestructible.
And this is what it's all built on. These are the pillars of an unstoppable life. Taking full responsibility for yourself, dreaming up the biggest, best version of your future, living for something more than just you, turning your scars into wisdom, and making those small, daily changes your absolute biggest priority. That's how you win.
Because in the end, it really does come down to this. You are in the driver's seat. You are the director, you're the writer, you're the star of your own life story. Every single day, with every one of those 5-second decisions, you are writing the next scene. So the only real question is, what kind of story are you going to choose to write?